Hi, fellow traders. I'm going to recap my trades from yesterday and today. Monday, I didn't have any trades, and yesterday, I was only in a half a day. Had to take my daughter to the airport to get her shipped off. She's safe and sound in Italy, so hope she's having a good time studying. So I say that I say studying loosely, but hopefully she's having a good time, and that kind of frees up my mind because the last couple of weeks has been trying to get everything straight with her and all of that, so I can focus 100% on my trading now. I don't think that would have really made much difference. The last couple of weeks have been pretty slow for my strategies and my setups, but the ones that really made moves, a lot of those I missed because I either wasn't here, I wasn't paying attention because I was working on other stuff. So, I've gotten a lot of emails and people asking me if I'm going to change what I'm doing and all of this. You can't do that. I've got a set of strategies that have banked me over 90 grand the first 5 months and almost got me 100K last year. So I'm not going to change those strategies. And I'm going to do the same thing that I did last year. Let the market come back to me. If I go chasing the market, I may end up worse off than, I started. So I like to sit back, let the market come to me, and, be ready to bank when when it comes back. And also when the going is good and the trading is good, know that it's not going to last. I knew it wasn't going to last, and I said it wasn't going to last. So that's why, I don't go crazy spending and all of this. You put the money up. I break it up. Put it in a tax account, say college savings accounts for the kids. You gotta split that up because when you go through slow times and you don't have any money saved, all of that stress is going to be on you, and it's going to affect your trading. You won't be able to think clearly, and it makes a big difference. So, if you don't do anything else, when you have these good runs, bank that money, save it, put it up for these slow times because they will happen, and there's just no way around it. I mean, even if you're a scalper and you trade 10, 15 times a day, you're going to go through slow periods where you don't have as many opportunities, and you just have to be prepared for that. So no, I'm not going to change my strategy. I'm going to continue to trade like I always trade. I will adjust. I will lower some volume requirements, and I'll trade on a little bit lower volume during this period. But other than that, I'm not going to change my setups or strategies or anything else. Just maybe a parameter or two that will allow me to take a little bit more trades. But yesterday I traded BABA or Bava. Hate this name pretty much, but I gave it a shot yesterday because it was a nice clean setup. I was looking for the fade of VWAP. Yeah, I got in before this 5-minute candle closed. I was looking at the 2-minute candle and got in on the 2-minute chart and thought I was in pretty good shape. Didn't really get I was looking for at least 50 cents to take my first profit. But I could only take 400 shares of this because my account's still small. Normally by this time in the month I've got about 20 grand in my account. So I could size up on these, but I can't do it when I don't make any money. My account doesn't grow, my buying power doesn't grow. So I have to still take smaller share size. And I only was took 400 shares here, so I had to wait for 50 cents. I never did get it. Ended up closing back above all of this. The 20, the VWAP, the 9 moving average. I mean, it closed back above all of that. I had no idea it would blow through that, but it did, and stopped me out here. So the good thing is I did stick to my stop, stuck to my trade plan, and kept my losses manageable. And that's really all you can ask for. So that was bye-bye yesterday. That was my only trade. Let's see. I traded today. Okay, KMX was one. That was a reversal I tried on KMX. Another good setup. Everything I like to see. The volume building in. The RSI, was a little over 80. Everything looked pretty good. We had a nice parabolic move up. And when we talk about areas or levels of resistance or support, I know we like to see it tap it to the penny, but really we're talking about areas like within 5 cents above or below this level, because you're really looking at that area versus just that one little line. Same thing with moving averages, same thing with the VWAP. It's an area. So it didn't quite make it here to tap it. This one opened and tried to get up there, but it didn't. But as it came back down, I went ahead and got short because I saw all the buyers going. I thought this here exhausted the buyers that we had. Now we can have another move right here where I could take, the first 200 shares off, or 250 in this case, and then, see if we get VWAP. But, this candle here, just like on bye-bye yesterday, got a candle that just took off. It opened and took off, closed above this level, and took me out. And just that quick. But it's what can happen. Then it turned around and turned over here. But I wasn't going to take it because, I don't know what it's going to do at this level. It gave it some pause on the way up on these two candles. Is it going to bounce off of this and take off? I don't know. So it wasn't worth me getting back in trying to, take this trade. It just didn't make sense. And let's see. And that was that trade. So the next one I took, the other one I took was PRGO. And this one was a pretty solid setup as well. Now, what a lot of people asked me today in chat was about, I have a rule where, if it's a buyout, I'm not going to trade. Well, this wasn't a buyout. This was a rumored buyout. And from what I could tell, it was all smoke and mirrors. And it said, and right here was the news I looked at. PRGO rises further as takeover rumor swirls. And so I use FinViz every morning to find the news because it pulls it from different resources. So it can have five articles from 5 different resources on the same thing. And I like to do that because it allows me to research. This is the only fundamental research that I do. Everything else is technical. And, it says takeover rumors with no outright denial of the story to kill it. Their shares rose further overnight, in the day-old rumor of a $20 billion takeover deal. So nobody's confirmed anything. And usually if there is a deal, there's somebody that's going to confirm it. If PRGO was going to be in a deal, you damn well bet they're going to confirm it because their stock price is going to go up. So to me, this was just a rumor. And I don't mind trading on rumors, but I didn't put it on my watch list because it was something that I was going to look for as a reactionary trade. And as I started looking at this pre-market, you can see here, this thing was washing out. And I'm like, man, you know what? This is a rumor. So what I was looking for it to do was come back and test this area in here between the 200, the 9, and the VWAP. Fail it, give me an opportunity for a short because this thing is going to wash. But it didn't. This thing got bought back up. So I went ahead and got out because I'm thinking, well, maybe somebody confirmed the deal or whatever. So I got out and kind of looked at the news and see if there was anything going on. And, nothing. And this is, let me go back here. This is the next piece of news that I saw. Because I started looking at this thing again. Investor alert. And it says the law office reminds investors of class action involving PRGO company. So I was like, yeah, this is gonna help go into my plan. So I was like, this is gonna be a good, if it loses VWAP, this is gonna be a good trade. So my goal was to fish this, get in a couple hundred shares, and give it time to test. If I got a quick wash of a point or so, take it, and on the retest, I'll know I'll have more of a consensus as to what this stock's going to do. And my plan was to call this out once I got in, either adding, if it didn't get a point and it retested it, I was going to call a trade out on the add, or if I washed it and sold it, come back and call it out on this next ad. Now, both the trades I called out were losing trades today because of the way the market was. The first trade on this and then the KMX trade. So I wasn't going to call out another losing trade. And this was a fishing expedition anyway, which is why I only took 200 shares to start with. My goal was to add another 200 shares to it. I mean, another 100 shares or a couple hundred shares to it, however much I could have added to it. But I couldn't because it never really came back and gave me a good add spot. So I just rode this all the way down. As long as it didn't close above the 9, I wasn't taking anything off. Now I only had 200 shares. My goal this morning was this 98.89 level. That was my goal this morning. Didn't get it this morning, but I thought it was a good chance that it would get here. So I was holding it, trying to get this level here. And when I got it, it was so weak. I mean, it just fell through this. I just said, well, I'm going to hold it, in 5 minutes before close, I'll dump it. Because I can't, I'm not going to hold this mess overnight. So sure enough, I was able to get fill here at 98, right on time. And this was a pretty good all-day trade. If I could find these every day, I guarantee you that this is all I would trade. I would be the most boringest trader in the world because I would trade these all-day fades, just put it in and sit back and let it work. Because this was a beautiful, pretty much all-day fade. Once it picked this trend, it stayed with it. And, it doesn't get any better than that. And so, this would be an adaptation of my VWAP trade. Not so much that it's I've changed it. It's just that I'm looking for a longer move of a longer period of time. I'm not so much a momentum trader as I am a trend trader. I like to trade the trends in the stocks. And I do counter trends on reversals. So everything I do is kind of in the trend. I don't trade full momentum. Now, sometimes momentum does come in and push a trend trade to resolve quickly. And that's always great. But that's not what I look for day in and day out. I look for these solid, slower moving trend trades. I like to trade the trend and take profit, take strategic points along the way, and then, wait for it to hit my target. But that's all it is. That's all I have for that. I'm going to have to tweak or change my smaller account strategies because I'm not getting any hits. Nothing on the setups that I like to trade for it. So what I'm going to do is start trading it with some of these larger dollar tickers because this is a trade that I should have taken. Let me see if I can get the chart up here. That I should have taken on Monday. And I didn't. And this is the setup that I like to trade. I could have put in 100 or 200 shares of this. This is it. The VWAP right here. We got a week open. This comes back to test the VWAP. Fails the test, gets short. Take some off here at the red to green line. Look at the retest, the VWAP here. A nice rejection. And we had a nice move all the way down to 48.7. This would have been a beautiful trade on a smaller account. 200 shares. Got in here, took 100 shares off here. Let this thing work. It's still working. When it hits this support, another 100 shares. I didn't take it because the volume was a little bit lower at open. But this is one of the tweaks that I make. My volume requirements during the summer are going to drop. I'm not going to be looking for all of this volume all the time. As long as it has 75,000 shares that's traded on a 5-minute candle, I'm going to be fine with it. As long as the spreads aren't ridiculous, I'll be good, working. So, you're going to see me trade probably some lower dollar tickers with, lower position size, and I'm just going to let these trades work. That's what we have to do, to help our account grow. So I'm going to be, looking at that and changing that up. You can trade some of these tickets with a small account. You just use smaller share size. But when you get these big moves, you get pretty good money. I mean, look at the PRGO, trade. We looked at that chart and you saw how long that faded, multiple points. 100 shares on that. If you get 4 points, that's $400, and you just can't beat that. So that's all I've got for today. I hope everybody had a great day and a great week so far. So I'm looking for a strong Thursday and Friday to kind of add to today. It wasn't a big day, but did make some money. So it's always good to be green versus red. So pretty pleased with that. So I'll see everybody tomorrow in chat.